If you're a library user, you may know about Hoopla Digital, but have you heard about Libby? Well, stick around because I've got all the details for you right here. Hey there, book lovers. If you were able to catch my previous video on Hoopla Digital, then today's video is going to seem really familiar because I've got another library-based service for you guys called Libby. This is an app that is put out by the company Overdrive. That is a library-based service that allows patrons to access ebooks, audiobooks, and magazines through the app if their library system participates in it. So it's similar to Hoopla Digital, but its offerings are a little bit more limited in that it doesn't offer TV shows, movies, and music like Hoopla Digital does. But it is still the same in that if you have a library card with a participating library system that uses the Libby app, you are able to sign in with that library card and have access to the catalog that they have, that your library system has signed up for through the Libby app. The catalog can vary from library system to library system, which again is very similar to Hoopla, just based on what your library system offers Libby, what they've signed up for with Overdrive, and to be able to access through Libby. And that's the same thing as well with like lending policies, loan duration, borrowing limits. Again, that's also going to vary from library system to library system. Borrowing limits for items are typically 14 to 21 days. It can be either or depending on depending on what your library system has set up with Libby when they selected, to be a part of the program, what they've selected, that could vary. So again, very similar to Hoopla Digital. I'll have later in the video when I kind of show you guys what the app looks like. Just be aware that what you're seeing on my app might differ if you're part of a different library system than what I'm a part of. Your catalog may look different. Your borrowing limits, all of that may look different just based on what your system has compared to mine. The Libby app has the ability to add multiple library cards to the app, which means you have the potential to have a broader selection, because like I said, different library systems may have different catalog selections just based on what they've selected and curated when they've set up the Libby system, when they set it up for their system. This also means you must be a qualifying member of those library systems to be able to add the library card. So you have to be you have to have a valid library card with the library system. It has to be in good standing. Like you can't have a bunch of overdue fees if your library system has that to the point that you can't check items out. Your card can't be expired, things like that. So that's just something to be aware of. Items that you check out from Libby are automatically returned when they are due. So there's no late fees. You don't have to worry about turning something in before it's due. And you can renew items as long as there's not somebody waiting on them. If there is someone waiting for the title, it's not going to let you renew it. It will let you place a hold on it so that you can be next in line, or you can be next on the wait list to get it back. Whenever the next person's finished with it, you can be on the wait list to get it if you aren't able to renew it and you're not finished with it yet. Libby also has the ability for you to sync your reading across your devices that you have the app installed on. The app can be installed on smartphones, Android or Apple devices, as well as tablets that are Android or Apple, and Amazon Fire tablets. So something to note, Libby users in the US can use the Read with Kindle function to read their ebooks on a Kindle e-reader. I know I mentioned in my Hoopla Digital video that this was something you can't do with Hoopla. Hoopla only allows you to read read ebooks on their app in their native e-reader. But with the Libby app, if you're in the US, you are able to select there's a read with Kindle option where when you check an ebook out, it will take you to an Amazon link where you can check it out on your Amazon account, and then be able to send it to your Kindle, like a Kindle color soft Paperwhite, just a straight e-reader device from there, which is a nice function if you want to be able to read on your e-reader. I know that's something that I do quite often when I'm using Libby. My experience with that has been that you can't change back and forth between Kindle and the app once you select Read with Kindle. It's been my experience that once you have selected Read with Kindle, you can't decide, oh, I'd rather, I'm out, I don't have my Kindle, I want to read my book. You can't switch and say, oh, I'm going to switch and read on the app. I have not experienced it allowing me to do that. So that is something to watch out for. And when you are ready to return the ebook early, you need to return it through the Kindle Amazon interface rather than through the app. So if you hold on to it until it is time for it to return automatically, it will just return automatically, and you won't have to do anything. But if you want to return it early, you have to go in. You have to go in and do it through your Kindle. If you try to do it through the app, it will tell you to do it through either your Amazon website interface or on your Kindle. There will be a menu for you to return this book, sort of deal. So just be aware of that. There are extra steps if you do it that way, that you just kind of have to get into. Also, this is a US only function. So if you are outside the US, I don't believe currently there is a way for you to use Libby on your e-reader. I don't know if that is a function that they're that will be coming soon, or what the deal is with that. But I do know that this is a US only way to read Libby ebooks on your Kindle. You also have the ability to download titles for offline use onto the Libby app. I do this quite frequently when I'm using audiobooks, especially when I check out an audiobook. It will automatically download if there is space. And this is really helpful for me because if I'm out somewhere and I don't have an internet connection, I don't have to worry about not being able to listen to my audiobook if I'm out somewhere. It's just a really handy feature. You are only able to download to the Libby app though. You can't download it to like a separate app on your phone or your tablet or whatever it is you're trying to listen or read onto. It has to stay within the native Libby app itself. So again, something to just be aware of that. Overall, like I am fortunate that my library system has both Libby and Hoopla, so I'm able to use both of these services. And I do use both of them pretty frequently. I don't know that I use one more than the other. It just kind of depends on what my library has available on which service. I will say Libby has a lot more, with my library system in my experience, Libby has a lot more popular titles. The drawback to Libby, in my experience, is that the popular titles tend to have more of a longer wait list. Right. The Libby tends to have a wait list in general. Like it doesn't have what Hoopla has where you can just instantly borrow things that are available. There aren't a bunch of copies that are just able to be borrowed by multiple people. There is the wait list functionality that is a bit of a drawback when I want something immediately, especially if it's a popular title. So I do kind of flip back and forth. That's kind of why I use both of them, because there are titles on Hoopla that I can get access to that I am not able to get on Libby. So I mean, there are benefits to using both if you have access to both of them. But there are, like I said, they both tend to have different catalogs. Some things are on Hoopla that aren't on Libby and vice versa. But yeah, if this is something that your library system offers, I would definitely look into it. Now that you guys have gotten a pretty good rundown of all the details about what Libby is, what it does, what it offers, I thought it might be fun to give you guys a bit of a visual of what the app looks like. Some of the things it can do, what it does for you. So yeah, let's check it out. All right, so this is what it looks like when you open the Libby app. Just like before with my Hoopla Digital video, I'm showing this to you guys on my Amazon Fire tablet. So when you first open the app, it's going to take you to your shelf tab, where it's going to show you what your loans, your holds, and so you can see here, I've got one loan checked out. It'll also show you down here the most recent item that you have listened to or read that you have checked out. Since I only have one checked out, this is where this is what it has listed there. So that's handy, but you can tap into each of these little menus and it'll show you like what you have on hold. I have several suspended, which is a feature that if something comes up that you are on hold for that you just don't have time for, there is an option that you can send it to the next person, and it will let you choose when to deliver it to you again. It'll keep your place, and then when that person is done with it, it will allow you to deliver it to you once they're done. Or you can pause the hold and then unpause it, which is what I have. I have a few of them that are currently paused, and then I have a couple that are active and have quite a long wait, which I'm fine with because I mean they're popular titles and I have things I can read in the meantime. But there's also a timeline that'll kind of show you your reading history. When you check something out, how long it took you to read it, when you returned it, that sort of thing. So that's a nifty tool that they have on there as well. There's also a magazine rack if you have magazines checked out. As I've said previously, I'm not a big magazine reader, but if that's something you're into, it's a nice little feature to have. If you have magazines checked out on here, that's something that they have just right there on your shelf when you load the app in. So the next little tab down here is this tags, where you can make a tag for just about anything in this app. Common things to make a tag for would be, like it says on here, it says you can make a wish list tag. They also have smart tags where you can make tags for books that you have borrowed to help keep track of things that you've borrowed within Libby. Pretty much anything you want to make a tag for, you can make a tag in here to help organize, things you want to read, things you've read but didn't like, things you have borrowed. The options are pretty limitless within the app here, and that's the tab in the app that you would do this from, which is a pretty neat feature that I don't take advantage of as much as I probably should. So that might be something I need to look into, but it's a neat feature that Libby has to offer. So the next tab we have here in the app is this little library tab, which is going to take you to your library's catalog. Like I said earlier in the video, this is going to differ from library system to library system just based on what your library system may have set up through Libby. So your page, your setup may not look exactly like mine, just so bear that in mind. But the top row here is going to shows that you can sort and filter for newest, for popular, random. There's also an available now tab, which I have used pretty frequently. It's very handy if I want something that doesn't have a wait list, that I don't have to, put myself on hold for, something I just want to read, right now, that, download instantly and read. So that's a very handy feature that I've used countless times. My library occasionally will have a featured tab where they have unlimited copies of a certain title. So that's what this currently has right here. But if you keep scrolling, they will also have different highlighted tabs. This one's Best Books of 2025. This one's sorted, looks like librarian curated guides for like kids, teens, magazines, mysteries and thrillers. There's also one for extras, maybe something. This one specifically is something that's an extra that my library system offers, that's a different service. So it looks like they're advertising something for that. And then there's a just added tab of just added books, just added audiobooks, magazines. There's just a bunch of different tabs for different themes, genres. There's a cozy mystery tab, and a bunch of always available audiobooks, always available ebooks. Just tons to scroll through. At least, and like I said, it's going to vary from library system to library system. So like the catalog is not going to look the same as what you're seeing on mine. But it should give a pretty good variety for you to choose from. So this middle tab down here is going to be your account settings. This is where you're going to be able to manage your library cards. This is where you'll be able to add a card. It'll be where you can select which catalog you want to browse from if you have multiple cards. It's also going to be where you can, deal with your notification settings. If you want to get push notifications through the app or through email, that sort of thing. Accessibility. This is also where you can change your read books with setting, like I was talking about earlier in the video. Whether you want to read your books with your Kindle, or if you want to read through the Libby app. So if you have a preference either way with that, you can set that setting through this menu. And there's just a bunch of other settings in this account settings menu to just go through and be able to set that way. That's where you would do that here. The last tab that's on here is your search tab, which is just going to be able to obviously let you search Libby to find out if a title you're looking for is available in the catalog. There are a bunch of filter options. You can filter by books, audiobooks, magazines. You can filter again by that available now tab, as well as filter by Kindle. There are also more advanced filters that you can use. You can filter by subject, format, availability. It lets you filter by sequence. So if you want to filter by something, whether something is a standalone versus being first in a series. You can sort by popularity, release date, or you can sort by random, date added, audience, language. You can sort by your read with option. There's just a ton of different filter options on here included in the search. Well, I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope that was helpful information. I hope seeing the app in person was helpful, just to kind of see how it works, how it looks. And if maybe it's something you guys, if you're not already using it and your library does offer it, maybe it's something you can pick up and make use of, and it's a way to help support your local library more. Again, if it's not something that your library offers and you think it's something that should, maybe this gave you enough information to talk to the right person and see about, see if it's something that somebody could potentially get started at your library system. Like I said, I'm a big library user myself. I'm a Hoopla Digital fan. I'm a Libby fan. I like using both of them. I don't really prefer one over the other because, like I said, they each have different catalogs, different strengths. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know. Are you a library user? Are you a Hoopla Digital person? Are you a Libby person? Just let me know in the comments. So just like I did with my Hoopla Digital video, I was looking around when I was doing research for this video and found a few popular trending titles to share with you guys. And that was actually really fun because I did find a couple that I had forgotten that I wanted to read, as well as a book that I didn't even realize was out by an author that I really like. So the first book I've got for you guys is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is a book that is told from 3 different points of view across 3 different time periods about 3 different women and the challenges that they face. So this is one that I have had on my TBR for a while, and I did actually try to check it out, but it's quite thick and intimidating, and it didn't quite get to it. But I've read books by this author before, and really enjoyed them, and really think I will enjoy this one. And this is another thing that I really, really enjoy about Libby in general, is that it makes books that are otherwise large and intimidating very accessible, and very, very much easier to approach, right? Because the summary on this one is very mysterious and very intriguing, and I want to pick it up, and I like this author, and I think I will enjoy this book. And I like that I can access it via Libby, as an ebook or an audiobook, and be able to carry it around with me and listen to it or read it much easier than carrying a big, heavy book around. So I am excited to read this one. I will have to let you guys know what I think. If you have read it, definitely let me know. But yeah, I'm glad this one is on Libby for sure. The next one that I have for you guys is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is a story about astronaut Rylan Grace, who must regain his memories and save the Earth from disaster after he becomes the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission to save humanity. So this is a sci-fi thriller from the author of The Martian. It's a movie that's set to be released in March of 2026. So for those of you who watched and really enjoyed The Martian that came out several years ago with Matt Damon, you might want to pick this one up. I know I read the book and really enjoyed it, and I liked the movie. Kind of interested in seeing this one. And I've seen this book around, obviously, but haven't had a chance to pick it up yet. So it's definitely going on my list, and I like that it's on Libby. One of the books that I have for you guys today is We Are All Guilty Here by Karin Slaughter. This is a book about a small town called North Falls, where everyone thinks that they know everyone until 2 teenage girls go missing one night. It is book 1 in a new series by this author. It's the same author of the Will Trent series. I don't know if anybody has seen that television show. It's based off the book series. I haven't watched it personally. I've read a few of the books though, and they are really good. I am personally a huge fan of this author. I've read several of her books, and can personally say that, she is a fantastic mystery thriller writer. And so if her past books are anything to go on, this is a mystery thriller that is sure to be full of twists that you're not going to be able to see coming. I am actually really excited to add this one to my TBR and read this one for sure. So I'm really, really excited to have stumbled upon this one on Libby. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad to be able to have access to it. So I will let you guys know what I think. That's all that I have for you guys today. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If your library system already has Libby and you just haven't taken advantage of it yet, I hope this was enough detailed information that you're able to decide if it's something you can make use of. If you are already a Libby user with your library, hopefully you maybe got a couple of new titles to add to your TBR. If you guys have any thoughts on today's video or Libby or ways to support your local libraries in general, definitely feel free to share them in the comments. If you're looking to find out what's next on the channel, be sure to be on the lookout for my review of Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This is about a man named Carl who gets thrown into a dungeon style reality TV show, sort of survival game, where after an alien invasion, where he has to fight his way through different levels to survive, and it is a funny, very entertaining post-apocalyptic sort of survival story that has opened up a brand new genre of reading for me that like I said, I really can't wait to share my thoughts on this book with you guys. So definitely be on the lookout and stay tuned for that. But until then, see you next time and happy reading.